Yeah, they have officially locked in the worst record in the NHL for the second season in a row. Yeah, so they right after we recorded last week, they dropped the game at home against Calgary. That was me and yours pick for win of the week. They lose that game 3-2. They go to Minnesota. They almost get the job done. They end up losing 8-7. That was the first career hat trick for Celebrini. Uh,
Yeah.
I'm putting it into like I'm putting the energy out there. Get him the Calder Trophy. And then they end up losing at Edmonton 4-2 on Friday, and on Sunday they lose 5-2 at Calgary. That game was pretty close heading into the third, and that one just kind of fell apart again. Yeah, they have officially locked in the worst record in the NHL for the second season in a row. So there's only 2 games remaining. They're at Vancouver tonight, and then they come back home, host Edmonton on Wednesday, and then that's your season.
That's it. Game
yeah,
over.
that's it. You know what? I'll take I'll just take the win at home. It doesn't really matter. I got blown out this season for win of the week, but yeah. So which one do you want? Do you want Vancouver or at home against Edmonton?
I'll just take Vancouver
You'll take Vancouver just for
for whatever.
reasons. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So there are actually a couple of pieces of news Sharks wise to talk about. Logan Couture. The news just broke. So Tim, we don't even have this ready for you, but here's the Tankathon standings right there. Go ahead and just leave that up. That's fine. Okay. We do have the story. Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and roll with that then. So it sounds like Logan Couture is going to announce the end of his career due to injury. This news broke probably a couple of hours ago. I think I was still on the clock when it came through. So he has the injury that he has is it's known as osteitis pubis, which is, according to the Cleveland Clinic, is inflammation in the joint between the left and right pubic bones. It can cause pain and swelling in one's groin or lower abdominal, and can be commonly found in athletes due to repetitive usage of the hips, pelvis, and groin. So he hasn't played this season. His last game was January 31st, 2024. He only played 6 games last season. And it sounds like he was hopeful when he was returning to the ice last season, but he just hasn't been able to go. It's going to be the end of his career. That he's not going to officially retire, because if he does, then he forfeits the last 2 years of his contract. So he wants to still get paid. So he'll be on the long-term injury list, basically. Yeah, it's just a rough end to a pretty damn good career. He's not a Hall of Famer, but he is a Hall of pretty damn good. He's in the Yevgeny Nabokov, Dan Boyle class of Sharks players, in my opinion. Like really good guys for a really long time, but not Hall of Fame material. But he made a couple of All-Star games. He was a bit of an irritant.
Not NHL Hall of Fame, but what about like Sharks Ring of Honor?
Right now, the Sharks only have been like Ring of Honor retiring jerseys for Patty and Jumbo. So if they ever start doing like a Ring of Honor, like they do have the the San Jose Sports Hall of Fame that's like in the arena, like you have plaques and stuff for a lot of players. He'll obviously be getting one of those, no doubt about that. But as far as like a jersey retirement, I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think that's in the cards. I don't think they want to retire jerseys for people who were pretty damn good for a while. Otherwise, number 20 would have been retired already. We would have seen Gino get his, but I don't think that's going to happen. But hell of a career. It sucks that it's ending like this. I wish he could have been hung around to captain these boys through the next one. Uh, Unfortunate. Let's see. 323 goals, 378 assists in 933 regular season games. It's about 2 points every 3 games for his career. 2/3 of a point a game. Solid numbers. Let's see. Playoffs is kind of where he really got going. That was 48 goals in 116 playoff games. He was massive in the 2016 playoffs. I think it was like 10 goals, 30 points in that entire run for the Stanley Cup final appearance. He also had 14 goals and 20 points in 2019 when the Sharks went to the Western Conference Finals. Back in January, Greer said that they weren't going to make any change to the captaincy, even though Couture was not playing. Obviously, with him not playing on a definitive permanent basis, that's going to change next year. And I think what ends up happening is Toffoli gets the C pinned on him. He's under contract for the next 3 years after this one. He just scored 30 goals again. Third straight year of 30 goals. Yep. And so he's a guy that can fill the back of the net. So teams can't, like, they may go without a captain for a year or two. Maybe like waiting for Celebrini to be the so-called successor or whatever. They did that in 2015. They like went without a captain and before pinning it on Joe Pavelski. And that did not work at all. I do not like that. I want somebody with a C on their chest, and I want that player to be able to play a significant portion of the games. It's unfortunate that after those 6 games last season, he couldn't keep going. And that was unfortunately the last we'll ever see of Logan on ice. And it sucks, but I think Toffoli will probably get the C pinned on him. And then Celebrini will get one of the A's, and then you will see at some point, maybe in a couple of years, that's when they'll make the change to Celebrini getting the captaincy. They may do that. They may just pin the C on him as a 19-year-old, 20-year-old next season. That's entirely within the cards as well. The Blackhawks did that to Jonathan Toews, and Jonathan Toews has been the name that I've been using before the season started. I think he's actually turned out a little bit better than what we could have hoped for in terms of like Toews or whatever. So that's great. I loved what I've seen from him. I love getting that hat trick too. I think that's the first rookie hat trick in like a decade or something like that, maybe even longer. Like it's been like I saw that stat flash by before I could even really register what I was seeing. So just a couple of positive things looking forward. You're in line to possibly get that number 1 overall seed again. You're not going to fall any further than number 3. Like that will not happen. At worst, you're going to be picking 3rd. And you get 2 first-round draft picks in this season and next season. So there's still a lot to be excited about, and everybody seems to be getting ready to come up and start playing and start contributing at the big level, and it's happening soon. And like a lot of these guys are in the AHL right now. They actually just called Quentin Musty up to the CUDA.
I saw that.
So they're starting to get all the young boys' feet wet in the playoffs for them, because the Barracuda clinched a playoff spot. I like that they're going to get to play some playoff hockey, even if it's not at the NHL level. Just kind of, iron sharpens iron type of thing. And if you're playing in the playoffs at the AHL level, you'll be able to see those guys that you're playing in the playoffs in a couple of years at the NHL level, you would think, right? So, and that goes for your opponents and your own players too. So, this is a chance to get a little bit of fun hockey experience as well. And I'm stoked, man. I'm glad that the Barracuda get to keep playing after the regular season. So
yeah, it's going to be fun to track what they do in the playoffs. And looks like Askarov is going to be playing. He played last week is what I saw with the Barracuda.
Um, I'm sorry. I was trying to read the. I'm sure I
Askarov,
didn't miss anything. Yeah.
Askarov is going to be in the playoffs with the Barracuda, right? I believe
I
he's
I,
playing for
I,
them.
I believe so. So that's
Yeah,
good.
so get him some meaningful games. The next year you got a positive foundation. You got all these young guys, got a ton of reps.
Mhm.
Um, you got a ton of prospects at almost every position on every level. And you're going to be contributing to that. So now I hope Mike Greer gets some free agents, dude. Like,
Yeah.
don't just ride the wave of like
They
youth.
yeah, yeah.
Like
There's a ton.
go out and pay somebody one or two contracts. Get a good veteran or two or three in here, because like Vince, like I know their record says otherwise, but I think Celebrini, Will Smith, and Eklund are all going to be better next year. I
Oh
don't know
yeah.
how much better, but they're
Mhm.
going to be better. And I think one of the things you want to do with a team that's rebuilding is you want to start getting competitive as soon as you can. So if you need to go, and I know we were joking around on a text chat, Mitch Marner is available. Like,
Yeah.
go like go and overpay somebody, because you can. It's not going to impact Celebrini or Will Smith or Eklund's future. It's not going to impact any future contracts to the young guys.
Yeah.
So like, teach them to be competitive and win. Try to start winning as soon as possible. You don't need another first round pick next year,
Right.
or a top 2 pick or top 3 pick or something
Yeah,
like.
yeah, no, I'd be happy with like a number 9 pick or something like that next year.
Right.
You can go out and get Mitch Marner would be a huge if they're able to pull that off. They have the cap room to do it too. I just pulled up 15 potential free agents to watch. A guy like Sam Bennett, the center in Florida. I mean, he's a 25 goal scorer. I'd like to get something like that. He's kind of a dog on a bone is what one NHL exec referred to him as. So like just a kind of tough sandpaper guy. Somebody like John Tavares, expensive veteran type. You don't have to pay him the 7-year, 77 million he's currently sitting on. He's a little bit older than that. He's 34 now, it looks like. So yeah, he did have 38 goals this year. So somebody like that, but he's going to be a little bit cheaper than Mitch Marner. But yeah, if you
I
can
think Mitch
attract
Marner is
somebody
still
like
like
that,
28 or 29 though, so he's
yeah,
still.
Mitch Marner's 27 right now. Actually, yeah,
Yeah,
I
see,
just
he's
looked that up. Yeah,
27, Vince. He's
yeah, yeah. Yeah. So yeah, there's a whole lot of guys that are available. I want to shore up the back end a little bit too.
I would say,
I mean,
if you can get some defensemen up in here,
yeah.
because that's the harder position for younger players to learn. So
Somebody like
like
Aaron
stack some
Ekblad,
guys. Yeah.
Yeah. If you get Aaron Ekblad, I think that would be huge. Somebody like that. He's on the free agent list right now. He had he's relatively young-ish. He's on the right side of 30. He's 29 right now. So if you can get him for like his current contract is 8 years, 60 million. So but that's expiring. So you would let's see. Yeah, that one, like if it takes another 8-year contract for him, obviously I don't love the 8-year contract. The Sharks are still sitting on a couple of those right now.
Yeah.
The Burnsy one, they're still taking money on from that. Same with the Carlson one, I believe.
How will
But
Couture's if he's not
oh
playing?
So because he's on long-term injury, that money comes off. That money does not affect
The cap.
the salary cap. So and thanks for the question, Pops, in the chat right there. And if you're listening or watching, you can join in on the chat too. Live Mondays. We record 5:30 p.m. Pacific time. So yeah, this is it's a good opportunity. You can move. That's a lot of money on Logan Couture's contract, and it just opens up even more chance to go out and spend some money and get some quality players. And you don't necessarily have to get one of these top 15 guys. You can like there's a lot of the middle class, so to speak, of NHL players, but they're good, talented players that that you can sign for. Give them a little bit of extra money because you're coming to California, right? They always talk about the the taxes in California or whatever, but also living, like you get a lot of sunshine out here too. So there's a lot of good selling points, and it's a young team with a lot of talent around, but also low expectations right now as it sits, and also the press isn't insane like they are on the East Coast or in Canada, like in Toronto or Boston or New York. If you have a rough couple of weeks, yeah, they'll ask you some questions about it, but they're not gonna just be ripping you to shreds every night about for it too. So there's a lot of good selling points here too. I remember when Burnsy first came over, he actually like just posted on Twitter asking, "Hey, where's some good places to go mountain biking?" And he and some fans went out and just mountain biked in the freaking hills in Santa Clara County, so like I wouldn't necessarily say go ahead and do that now at this point, but there's an opportunity to like lay low a little bit, and just kind of enjoy life out here. And I don't know why I'm making the pitch. I'm sure Mike Greer's making the pitch as well to a lot of guys once he's able to on July 1st when free agency officially opens. And not a minute beforehand, of course. Obviously, we wouldn't want to tamper.
Yeah, because we're affiliated with the team.
Right, exactly.
We
yeah,
can
no
get 'em in
tampering
trouble.
whatsoever. Yeah.